Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video. And for this layout, I am going to use this Crate Paper Storyteller collection. I've had for a while. I've used it quite a few times, but I actually got some more of it at Tuesday morning one time and added to it. So I think I had almost like 2 full collections of it. And so I'm just digging into it to do this layout that I want to use some carbon paper again. So this is layout number 3 with carbon paper. I guess I'm on a roll. And I'm going to do this layout about myself, and I have this selfie I took, and it was one I just didn't have a picture for the day for my picture a day log, so I just took a selfie real quick in my office. So it was not anything important or anything like that. And so the background was kind of distracting. It's just my office. And so I'm cutting off the background, and then I've cut the photo directly in half. And now I'm trying to see where I want to position the picture on the paper. And I kind of like it over on that left-hand side more. And so I am going to tape down this side and use the carbon paper. And so last time I did use the carbon paper on a picture of my grandson, and I did the whole picture of him. So this time I'm only going to do half of the photo in line drawing, and then the rest will be the photograph. So I'm just tracing around my features, and again I will do some shading with this with my just regular blue ballpoint pen later. And you can see here I start drawing and I forget that my carbon paper doesn't go all the way down, so I'll have to move my carbon paper and do that again here in a second, because I was just, getting into my line drawing there and not paying attention. So yeah, I just kind of follow all the hair. There I'm putting in the brow and going around the eye, and just kind of, yeah, following exactly what's there. And then there's where I realized that, oops, I didn't have carbon paper down there. So I go and just retrace this section of my sweater. And then I'm just putting in some of the lines from the sweater and some of the shading. And then now I'm just going to do the shading with my ballpoint pen. And so I'm just putting something there to rest my hand on so that I don't smudge any of the blue carbon paper. And I'm filling in the eye, and I'm filling in there in my hair where it's the darkest. And then I'm just adding a few more lines of the hair just to show how the hair falls. And then it was darker there all along the edge of my face, so I'm just shading that in lightly with the ballpoint pen. Just putting a couple more lines for the hair. And you can do as much or as little of this shading, as you want. You could keep it really, really simplistic without very many lines, or you could do a lot of extra shading, even more than I'm doing here. So now I'm just going to do a little bit more shading on my sweater, and then it looked a little plain to me, so I went ahead and wound up putting in a few more lines for the because the sweater had like a little bit of ribbing or texture to it that you could kind of see. So here I am just kind of drawing in some of those lines, and it just adds a little more texture and keeps that from being just a big open space. And so there I go, adding that, and that's pretty much all I'm going to do. And I'm going to then attach the rest of the photo to the other side. So I'm just making sure it all matches up. And before I do that, I am going to spray this with some workable fixative just to make sure it doesn't smudge. So I've done that, and then just add some adhesive to the other side of my photo, line it up, and trim off the edge. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do as far as using the carbon paper. And this layout is going to be about some of the different things about me, so I'm going to title it The Different Sides of Me. Now I'm just going back through the collection and looking at my scraps and trying to find a bunch of them to kind of build some papers up on the bottom, because like I said, there's not going to be a lot going on the top, just the photo and the line drawing. So I'm going through my scraps first, and I really like that floral because it has the kind of navy blue which matches in with the line drawing. And if you wanted to, I believe there are carbon papers out there that have black ink instead of blue, so you're not limited to just blue. Yeah, it would be fun to play with some black, but Debbie was nice enough to gift me this blue stuff, and I'm just trying to come up with all kinds of ideas for it. Thank you so much, Debbie. And so there I am, just putting down the strips. I'm going to start gluing them down. And I wanted a little more room on the bottom, so I decided to move it up. So I'm kind of covering up a little bit of the drawing and stuff there. But I put down that floral. That again has the dark blue, brings out those colors. And then it's going to have just kind of an eclectic sort of look to it. And I went ahead and left the manufacturer's strip, which was that scallop, on the bottom of that floral, just to leave the little scalloped edge there. And so now I go back and look through the chipboard pieces that I have, and they didn't actually come with the collection. I found those later at Tuesday morning, and so I added them to the collection I already had of this. I had just the like the little punch out sheet, and so I like the chipboard as well for just a little more dimension. So I pull out that bright flower and put that at the bottom to kind of help anchor everything. And my title is going to be, well, kind of long for me. It's not a super long title, but it's longer than most of the titles that I do. So I'm looking through my thickers, and I didn't have any like navy blue ones. So I went with, I'm going to use these two different fonts. And this one is kind of a cream with little tiny black dots on it. And so I'm just going to do different in this font, and then I'm going to use that little scalloped circle font there to do sides, and then I'll use this first font again for of, and then I'll use a sticker from the collection for the word me. So I'm just I opened the edge of the packet and slipped the thickers in from the side. I think it was Kate Kennedy that started doing that, and I really like that. It's easier to get the thickers out from the side than it is out the bottom. So I'm just kind of using my ruler to help me place these evenly along the bottom. And then I'm going to take these here, I'm going to slit the side again, and just that way I can just kind of take them out from the side and pull out the letters for sides. And I've already pulled out the O and the F out of the other font for the of. So now I'm just looking at my spacing and where I want to start that. And I like that they're different, but they're not too extreme of a different color, so they blend really well. And then here's the sticker that I got out of the collection that has the word me on it, and I want to go ahead and use that to finish off my title. So I'm just putting a little bit of foam tape on the back. And then I decide to kind of left justify them along the edge of the line drawing there. And I go ahead and put that down, but it needs a little color up there, so I look through the sticker sheet and I find a long sticker that I put up on the top, and I'm sorry that it's not on screen at the moment. I didn't realize that, but and I also find that little flower, and I think about putting it there at the bottom of me, but I do wind up also putting it on that label sticker up at the top, and you'll see that here in a second. And I think about getting a different flower and putting it there, but it was just didn't quite go. So now I look through the border strips and I kind of like this red border, and so I cut off a few of those to put after the word of, so it kind of looks like of ... me. Then I also take some label stickers and layer them down here to make a nice cluster at the bottom of the page. I use that larger black label. And there's a random sticker on that sheet that just has an A, and since this is about me and my first initial is an A, I thought I'd go ahead and use it on this layout. There's no better time like now to get that used up. So I take another tag off the sticker sheet and I go ahead and I put that up on foam tape as well. That just lends a little more different layers to that cluster down there. So there's the A sticker I was talking about. So I just go ahead and put that down there. And then adhere the other tag, just kind of making it so that everything touches and connects. And then since I put that up on foam tape, I have a little bit of room here to put some baker's twine on that tag. So I just go ahead and use some more blue that matched the blue of the line drawing. And now I'm just going to go through some random stickers. I have all these are my small stickers that I just kind of keep in a pile. And so I just want to use those. And so I find a red one to kind of go on that red stripe. And then I find this blue one to kind of go on the blue stripe. And that just lends a little more interest to that whole cluster at the bottom. And like I said, this is kind of eclectic for me. And again, I'm just looking through more of my stickers. I think that's all I use for the stickers. I think about putting these gold glitter ones, but I didn't like that they were just plain circles. They just didn't quite fit in. And so I go to these bows that I've been using on. I had 2 packs of these and I've used them down quite a bit. So I use another green one and now I'm just combining what's left of the 2 packs onto one sheet. So I'm getting down to colors that I don't use as often. And I've had those on my desk now for quite a while. I'm hoping to get through them. And then these are some Heidi Swapp kind of puffy stickers or enamel stickers. And they had some little lime green asterisks that I go ahead and use on this, just to do another texture. And there you can see that little top cluster of the label. So then I just use a blue slick writer to write the date up top and my journaling down below. And the journaling just says that I enjoy people, but I love to be alone. I work with numbers, but I also have an artistic side too. I've never been able to sing, but I love to play music. I'm really very logical and strong, but emotional as well. There are many sides to me. And so I had a lot of fun doing this layout and using the carbon paper and stuff just in different ways. And so yeah, so if you're interested in doing something like this, I'm sure you can probably still pick up carbon paper just at your local office supply and give it a try. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment below. Thanks for watching. Bye.